Should your child start violin lessons? Every year, thousands of parents make the decision to start their kids on violin lessons. So is it worth it to you to start your child on violin? Well, I can tell you why I think most parents start their kids on violin. I can tell you why I started my daughter on violin. And what I have to say, you might find a bit surprising. Okay, so you've probably heard of all the benefits of your child learning violin, right? I mean, at this point, there's been a ton of studies done. There's a lot of science behind it. If your child learns violin or another musical instrument, they can experience such benefits as, increased confidence, improved memory, improved academics all the way around, especially math, increased appreciation for all music, in particular orchestral music, improved discipline, improved work ethic, improved attention span. It can even improve your intelligence as measured in many different ways. And if you take an instrument far enough, of course, it can even be a form of income, and it can help them get into a better college. However, there is an asterisk to this list of benefits of your child learning the violin. The thing is that a lot of these benefits you'll only see if they reach a fairly high level. And some of the benefits they'll never get unless they reach a pretty high level. In other words, you only get out of it what you put in it. The fact of the matter is that even though your child will get a lot of benefits out of learning a musical instrument, they will also get a lot of those same benefits from doing other things as well, other extracurricular activities. All kinds of sporting events, karate, taekwondo, dance, ballet, ice skating, chess club, science club, math club. There's a lot of different things that if they pursue outside of school is going to help them with everything that they do in life. So if your child reaches an advanced level with their instrument, like the violin, there are some benefits that are somewhat unique to the violin that will have lasting effects that will benefit them into their adult years and will completely change them as human beings and will give them experiences that are very unique to a musical instrument. However, you do have to reach a pretty advanced level. So how do you know how advanced this level is? By the time they graduate high school, they will be able to go to a music school if they wanted to. So their ability would be so high that if they wanted to go to a university and pursue a degree in music, or they wanted to go to a conservatory and pursue a degree in music, they could if they wanted to because they're good enough. And then that would lead them on into the track where if they wanted to be professional players, they could. So once you reach this kind of level, it opens up a lot of opportunities that are very unique to the instrument. So let's talk about those for a second. Okay, so there's 4 primary unique benefits to learning the violin. So number 1 would be getting into a better school. So I just talked about that a little bit. But if they're at a very advanced level, then when they're competing with other kids, because it is a competition, when they're competing against other kids to get into a good school, that's one more thing that they can do. However, big asterisks on this one too, this strategy is pretty overplayed at this point. In the 80s and 90s, if you were a great violinist or just a great musician and you applied to, an Ivy League school or some other really great, university somewhere, this was an advantage that you had because you're a 4.0 student, you were in the honor courses, you did all these other things, but you were also a great player. Well, this differentiated you from all the other kids. That's not really true anymore. Now, so many parents, there's a certain subset of the population, they've basically tried out this strategy so much that, I'm not on the admissions of Harvard, but I bet you the admissions department at Harvard probably sees a lot of the same people. They've got, all the same credentials and they're great at an instrument. So if you really want to differentiate yourself, yes, it can be a differentiator, but these days, not as much as it used to be. Okay, the second thing is that if you achieve a fairly high level with your instrument, it's a skill set that you can always fall back on. Now, this might be kind of a, depressing or negative way of looking at it to some extent. It kind of depends on how you look at it. But if you have a skill, right, you never have to worry about, your child being able to, feed themselves, put a roof over their head. Sure, musicians generally are not rich, but it's a skill. It's something that is tradable in just about all cultures. No matter where you go in the world, if you're a musician, you could probably put food in your mouth. So it is nice to have a skill, especially in today's environment when so many kids are graduating with degrees who really don't have any practical skills. They have a degree, they have a piece of paper on the wall, but they really don't have any appreciable skills that they can sell in the marketplace. So that is one benefit. Okay, so the last two big benefits that I'll mention that are very unique to the violin or another musical instrument are the ones that I'm personally most excited about. So the next one would be traveling the world. You know, it's been said that life is a book, and when you don't travel, you'll only read one page. And after traveling the world and going to many, many different countries, I totally agree. You know, when you travel, it completely changes your perspective on everything. And it's extremely important to your overall view of humanity and how you fit into it. Now, being very good at an instrument can open these doors for you for free, basically. I mean, nothing's free, but, you know, so speaking from my personal experience, I got to travel all around the world. I've been all over Europe, you know, touring with orchestras, right? So if you're good enough to get into an orchestra, you know, they pay for your traveling and your lodging and your food. You get to play on these great stages, playing in front of thousands of people, playing incredible pieces, playing with incredible musicians, having incredible experiences that you'll never forget that are absolutely life-changing. None of this would have been possible for me unless I had my viola, unless I had reached a particular ability level where I could participate in orchestras like this and have these opportunities available to me for basically free. So the fourth unique benefit that only a musician at an advanced level will get to experience is the experience of creating music, of performing music in front of a live audience. There's a big difference between going to a concert and watching music and going to a concert and creating the music, a really big difference. So not only physiologically, where you know, when you listen to music, your brain lights up, right? Your brain lights up with activity. When you create music, your entire brain is on fire. Everything is being actuated. You know, all of your emotions, all your physicality, all of your intelligence, everything is activated. This is a state that is experienced by very few, but it is a very human condition. It is a very human state. It is very unique human experience to be able to be on stage, to be able to play with great musicians, amazing pieces written by some of the best composers, with an amazing conductor on some of the world's most wonderful stages in front of thousands of people, creating music instantly, and then it's gone in the ethos forever. It's not a painting, it's something that you create and then it's gone. So this kind of experience is very unique to a musician. And it's one I think a lot of musicians probably don't appreciate as much as they probably should. But being able to be in this position and experience this level of how great it can be to be a human being and some of the great things that we can do, this very unique experience is only accessible to people who get to a high level of playing an instrument. And so that reason and that reason alone, to some extent, is why I wanted my daughter to learn the violin at an advanced level. So even if she doesn't want to play professionally or anything else, she might drop it right after high school. It's her choice. But she's been given an insight into the height of what it can be to be a human and to experience things that most people never experience. And having that perspective is almost priceless. There's one last thing that I'd like to mention, which is an interesting kind of way of looking at, you know, reaching an advanced level on a musical instrument. But before I do that, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that alert bell, you know, because I'm creating videos all the time and you'll get a notification. So this last thing that I'll mention is that all of these unique experiences that you can have as a musician that most people will never ever experience, you can't buy them. You have to earn them. The only way you're going to get it is if you earn it. It doesn't matter if you're a millionaire or a billionaire or a trillionaire. It doesn't make any difference. When you go to an auditorium, there's two doors. one to get in to watch the concert, and then the stage door where the gatekeepers are, all right? The security guards and the security guard's office where they check you and your credentials, and you have to get past them to get to the stage and the green room and everything else. You know, you could be Bill Gates, it doesn't matter. You know, sure, you could buy the auditorium, sure, you can buy a concert, you might even be able to buy a seat sitting on stage. But you can't buy the ability to play that instrument, to join that group, to be among them, to create that music. You can't buy it, you can only earn it. And that's one thing that makes it so, so special.